Welcome back to Saathwic Infotech AWS Learning Series. Okay, as part of our today's session, we are in our day 11 where we are going to see about most important concepts which have been frequently asked in interview to understand your real-time experiences and how do you implement these kind of concepts in your particular project where you worked on. Okay, what are those? So basically in order to confuse or in order to get the clarity of your experience, most of the questions will be asked from CloudWatch, CloudTrail, and SNS. Okay, so in today's session, I try to explain few basic concepts of CloudWatch. I am not going to jump into very detail of CloudWatch, and the same way I am not going to jump in detail to SNS too, but I just going to give you an overview of CloudWatch, and I am just going to give you a real-time use case. How do we integrate CloudWatch and SNS with the basic free tier account, and then I will give you the detailed explanation in tomorrow's session, maybe in day 12. Okay, because I don't want to load too much into you guys and get things messed up. Okay, so before even getting into the slide and architecture, let's jump on to our whiteboard. Let's try to understand few basic things. Okay, till now, as part of our maybe this, let me go to the PPT here. So as part of our implementation of AWS, right? We have been used Route 53, we have been used auto scaling, we have used application load balancer, and I have said like okay, auto scaling will happen based on your CPU utilization and everything. Let's assume in real time, right? So I know AWS provides auto scaling feature, this, that, and everything. But being a DevOps professional or being a infrastructure team, how do you understand, okay, whether auto scaling has happened or scaling has happened? How things will you justify it? Okay, and also certain times there will be some junk jobs or some other unwanted jobs will be triggered by the application team, which might even cause your CPU spike. Correct? So how do you reduce the CPU spike in during those kind of instances? Okay, maybe if it is a genuine, that's fine. Let's our easy to scale up and get the things done and everything will happen as smooth. But as in DevOps or SRE team, how do you ensure it's all genuine cases where your EC2 is scaling? Whether my CPU utilization is normal. There may be even some issues with AWS because like we now completely trust AWS, right? So in case of any issues with AWS side, maybe it's kind of a bug. How do you proactively find it? So in general, if it is an on-prem system, we do have all logging mechanism, dashboards, and everything created. But what we do in our EC2, do we have any such features? So all these questions have been answered with the help of CloudWatch logging. Basically, it's a metric logging. Okay, so let's go to our whiteboard. So you guys are going to say what you are going to do. So let's assume I have an EC2. Okay, let's take even you consider this as an EC2 or your on-prem Linux server. Okay, as a DevOps guys, what are the things you guys usually monitor of the system? Let's take I am running my Java web application on this EC2. Okay, what are the things I will really consider? I will consider the CPU utilization, how much CPU is really utilized. So if it is an on-prem, I will say okay, if it is like going beyond 80%, let me get notified. Okay, the same we will do in EC2 also, because based on this particular logging, you will see okay, many times my CPU is crossing 80, so I need to keep my auto scaling rules or I need to update my auto scaling rules to ensure that okay, it scale up when it reaches 80. Okay, for example, I might have kept at 90 or 95. I want to adjust the settings. How do I do it? Based on my observations. So how do you come to an observation? There should be somewhere your metrics should be saved. Okay, those places is nothing but CloudWatch. CloudWatch helps us in those places. So what are the other things you do? You do network related, like how much IO is been used, sorry, how much traffic is coming in, how much is going out, how much my network is keeping busy and everything. Network related inputs. So in case of Java based application, you guys see about like heap space usages, okay, JVM utilization and everything, right? So all these things, how do you configure? So in most of the use cases, we use AWS provided CloudWatch, or in some cases, we do even use external logging operations, right? Logging tools like we use Prometheus, Grafana, and also like we use like Datadog. So there are many tools available in the market for that purpose, but to this particular learning series, we keep limited to our CloudWatch and SNS and CloudTrail, whatever is been provided by AWS. We are not going to see into detail about Prometheus or Grafana, but for sure I will cover that in my upcoming session when we speak about more into like advanced topics. Okay, so how do I capture all these metrics? Till now, we created the EC2, but we really least bother about all this internal functionality, which really helps in managing the infrastructure. Right, so we have been not worried about too much. So I thought like, okay, it's the right time because like almost we have completed our use case. So we have like auto scaling enabled and everything apart from the firewall part of your web application. Remaining everything is completed. Maybe I need to explain few things about like a private subnet, your databases, interaction and everything. Probably I will just work on some weekends and get the website where I interact with the database. I can create a private subnet and show you out all those things. Okay. So apart from that, with regards with functionality, we are almost done with a web application architecture. So okay, now it's time to understand our logging and metric collection. So that's where we are into today's session. Okay, now what I did is like I have created an EC2 instance. It's a simple EC2 instance, nothing running in this machine. It's just even like I did not even install anything or web server or nothing. Okay, it's a simple EC2 instance. Okay, so let's go into CloudWatch on this one. Sorry, duplicate. Let me go to CloudWatch. Okay, so for example, again we need to even think about all these things, right? So let's take I know now, okay, the importance of metrics logging. Now I know like, okay, if my CPU goes at 80%, how do you get notified? That's the next question, right? Every time you cannot log into your console or watching your dashboards like UI dashboards, which is like fantastic graphs or any kind of a pie charts or whatever it is, right? Based on your need. So you cannot keep watching that dashboards every time. So there should be some mechanism whenever your EC2 goes beyond this certain limit. You tell me that, okay, uh, alarm me saying that, okay, hey Kumar, like this is happening into your web server. Or sometimes, okay, if there is an IE utilization, you better do a graceful shutdown. Okay, some cases we do that too, but I do not really use that feature, but even AWS provides that. Okay, in certain cases, okay, when you update or any software or anything, there you might take some time to identify the root cause or something. Maybe you want to shut down if it cross beyond 95, because like the application what you installed in that particular EC2 might be of, if it goes into graceful shutdown or if it's automatically shut down, then probably there is a chance that it doesn't corrupt anything. Okay, in those cases, you will also say that, okay, if CPU is going beyond 80, better you shut down the system and restart so that the junk process or zombie process residing in the machine will get cleared out. Okay, there will be a use case where you need to scale out. Okay, if the CPU is reaches 70%, you enable your auto scaling feature. Okay, we have seen yesterday in a different way of approach. Now we are going with the help of metrics. Even yesterday that uses metrics in behind the scene, but today I will show you something around how to do that and everything in with CloudWatch. Okay, so without further ado, let me jump here. So this is our CloudWatch UI. So any resources, right, any resources which has some metrics in it, okay, will send a minimum or default metrics to CloudWatch always. Okay, that's why see for this EC2 I did not do anything, but if you go to your monitoring session, you will have like all the utilization. Okay, my EC2 has went here like 97% and it came down and it's like 6% utilized now. If you go here, network in and network out bytes, network packets, you will have discretes, CPU credit usage, CPU credit balance. So there are much more we can do. Okay, so all these details are coming from CloudWatch. Okay, so all these dashboards are coming from CloudWatch. That's what I'm going to show you here. Okay, so in the CloudWatch there is something like alarm. Okay, so this alarm is going to get triggered based on the certain conditions what you define in your CloudWatch metrics. Okay, before that let me show this PPT also so that you better understand how CloudWatch works. So CloudWatch, okay, CloudWatch service basically monitor the resources. Okay, these are the resource basically. So it monitors these resources metrics. Okay, what are the metrics it monitor? It can monitor metrics like, okay, CPU, read and write, hours count, week count, CPU percentile, and there are much more metrics are there. I will show you when we do it practically. So based on this metrics and based on the alarm you configured, there will be an alarm service which triggers an alarm. Okay, it says that, okay, either you send an SNS notification. Okay, it sends the SNS notification from which you can do multiple operations, or it can either help you in auto scaling, and also it also shows all the alarms and every statistics in AWS management console. So that's how like a basic architecture of CloudWatch. So let me show you everything in the console too. Okay, now what should I do? Okay, what should I do? I need to watch for something. So where do I go? Okay, where do I go? Basically you are in overview. Let's create an alarm. Okay, first what alarm you want to create? Go create alarm. It says select metric. You are coming here and saying, okay, hey Kumar, hey AWS, I want to create an alarm. Based on what metric you want to create an alarm? Okay, if you click on this metric, okay, you have multiple things displayed here. Okay, based on all this application you can create a alarm. So either you can create alarm based on your load balancer metrics, EBS volume metrics, EC2 load balancer metric, logs, network load balancer, route 53, and SNS and usage metrics. So in our case we are going to use EC2. Okay, let me click on this EC2. So now you should, by this time you should have a question. Hey Kumar, like you clicked on EC2. Here it says like auto scaling group 34, per instance metric 562, but we do have only one instance. These are like old instance metrics still saved into my account. Okay, so if I click on per instance metrics, because this is a standalone EC2, right? I have not configured this into any auto scaling or anything. It's a standalone instance. So I have to go to per instance metric. Okay, so now if you see, these are the instances which we created in the past and deleted. Okay, so there will be many. So what I do, I will go here. Let me take my instance ID. This is my new instance ID which is running, for which I need to monitor the CPU metric. So search for that particular instance at the top. Okay, now, so I can use all these metrics of the system. So I can capture network out, packets in, network in, disk write-offs, disk, everything. These are the metrics available for you to do this checkings. Okay. So now what I am going to do, I am going to write a metric based on CPU utilization. Okay, let me select this metric. Okay, now I said, okay, when I select CPU utilization, I got the chart of CPU utilization chart. So now what I am going to say, when this metric should get triggered, when this alarm should get triggered, if my average, okay, average of metric remains same for how many period? For example, if I say like 100%, 80% utilization, if my server is at 80% for 5 minutes, then only this alarm get triggered. You know, right? There will be a sudden spike in the CPU when you run any job, okay, or when you initiate any process. It just go to the top high CPU and just come down immediately, maybe within a fraction of seconds. So I don't want to trigger alarm for every each and every action it goes, right? Then my mailbox will be like spammed with hundreds of email. So for testing purpose, general practice is to keep 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Usually we for CPU we keep 5 minutes, but for this particular testing I am just going with 1 minute, or maybe like I can go with the 10 seconds also. Okay, 60 seconds for free tier is 60 seconds, I guess. Maybe my name is, let me keep 1 minute. So what I am saying is, for a minute, if my average CPU utilization is constant at certain level for 1 minute, trigger this alarm. So what is that constant value? I need to go into configure in the below. I am saying if the threshold type is static, okay, and it's greater than 10%, okay, if it is greater than 10%, then trigger this particular alarm. Okay. Now it says, what should you do when this alarm has been triggered? Okay, when what should I do when this alarm triggered? So it says select an existing SNS topic or create a topic, or you can send this alarm to some other services to notify you. You have to give that AWS here and here. So for now, what I do? Let me duplicate this tab again. Okay, let me go to SNS, simple notification service. Okay, so now you understood a basic of CloudWatch, how to create an alarm and how to configure with the other services. Okay, we are in halfway. So as, okay, let me do that from here. So I can create a new topic here. Before I do everything, I just explain in SNS, few things about SNS. So what is an SNS? SNS is something like pub sub request. Basically, it's a notification system. Okay, you subscribe for something. Whenever that happens, you get notified. So for that, you need to create a topic first. Okay, it goes with three approaches. Okay, three-step approach. First, you need to create an SNS topic. Then you need to subscribe to it. Then you need to validate your subscription. So once you validate your subscription, going forward, whenever that alarm get triggered or wherever you are bounding this particular SNS, that particular action will be taken care. So in our case, what I am going to do, I am going to create a topic and subscribe as an email, and I will validate. Once I am done, I am going to add this particular notification system to my CloudWatch alert. Okay, let me show you how to do that. So I am saying EC2 CPU utilization, maybe max utilization. So I am saying this is my topic. So next step. So basically, as I said, right, it's like kind of a publish and subscribe method. It's a queue. So it says like whether you want to use first in first out or standard. So the difference is like, okay, first in first out work as a SQ. Okay, you can only subscribe by queues. No email or anything can be subscribed. But in our case, I want to get an email, so I go with standard because that subscription supports email, SMS, email, and everything. Basically, like being an infrastructure or DevOps or production support guys, you need to get an alert as early as possible. It should be either email or SMS. Everything can be configured only with standard option of SNS. Okay, the name I have given is CC to CPU max utilization. I am going to put that as a display name also. So if you want to encrypt, you can encrypt. If you want to specify or enforce any other additional policy, you can do everything. Okay, let's get set this everything as default. I don't want to confuse you guys too much today. Okay, then let's create a topic. Okay, so I have a topic created. Okay, now my second step is, I said, right, I need to subscribe to my topic. So how do I subscribe? Let's create a subscription. It says for this particular topic you are going to subscribe. What action you are going to subscribe? Whether this particular topic is going to interact with SN, Kinesis or SQS or Lambda or email or HTTP, right? So in our case, I want to trigger an email. You can even trigger SMS. You can trigger like multiple options. You can trigger like Lambda function based on your SNS and everything. In my case, it's an email, simple email. So my email is saathwicinfotech@gmail.com. Okay, this is my email address. So let me create the subscription. So here comes the important part, right? So once you create a subscription, you will see your status as pending confirmation. What does it mean? You need to validate your email address. Okay. And one more important thing. So when I say validate email address, AWS will send a confirmation email to your email, whatever you subscribe to. In that, you need to confirm. Okay. You see my screen, right? I got an email saying AWS notification subscription confirmation. So in that, I need to click on confirm submission. You will see this like submission confirmed. Okay, this is very, very important. Without that, even though you create any SNS topic and subscribe, you don't get any emails unless you confirm. This is very, very important step which you have to remember. And one more important point, sometimes, right, whenever you get an email with this kind of a subject line, it goes to your spam folder where you need to check your spam also when you use Gmail for an example. In real time, it doesn't happen because your domain will be verified by your email provider. Okay, great. So now let me refresh this page. Okay, my status changed to confirmed. So I have an SNS topic. Whenever it get any messages, it's going to send me an email. Okay, let me go to my CPU utilization. So just I'm going to check whether this particular SNS works perfectly fine even before I integrate this topic to my CloudWatch. So how do I test it? Here you see a message, something like publish message. So I'm going to give like, okay, testing my SNS notification. Okay, your raw message. Hi, this is the test message from SNS. Okay, remaining things are like kind of an option because we are doing a testing. So when I click on publish message, the subscribers basically, right? The subscribers should receive this email. So in my case, I have only one subscriber. If you want, you can multiple subscription can be created. So let me publish this message. So it says message published to topic CPU utilization successfully. This is a message ID. So now if you go to your inbox, you should got that email. Hi, this is a test message from SNS testing my SNS notification. So I have created an SNS topic and subscribed to it and it works perfectly fine. Okay, hope with this you might be very clear. Okay, SNS is like simple. Now, where it the power of SNS comes when you integrate this with the application services. Okay, now I want to integrate this service with my CloudWatch so that I get notified whenever an alarm is getting triggered. Okay, so let me select an existing topic. Okay, I need to refresh this page. Okay, because like it does not recognize the one which I created. So let me select the metric quickly. So it's going to be an EC2. My instance ID is this. Per instance, let me search the instance ID. Metric is CPU utilization. So I'm selecting the metric. Average of 1 minute. Static greater than 10%. Next. So select an existing topic. You will see that newly created topic here. So usually AWS will have a refresh symbol here, but for this particular thing, they does not have. Maybe they will come up in future. So select your topic which you created in SNS. It means that whenever the alarm gets generated, it routes the alarm to this particular topic. So by that way, you get an email notification. So it says it will. I will send an email to this particular recipient. Okay. So if you want to, based on some condition, so now I have an SNS, right? So if I want to even auto scale, I can add auto scaling rules here. In case of alarm, what should I do? So if I have an auto scaling group, I can select that auto scaling group here, which I don't want to do now. Okay. In case of like I want to, whenever my CPU reaches like 90%, I can even shut down, start and everything. Okay. So that I am not even going to show now. Let's click on next. So let me, now I need to say what is the alarm. Okay, I will say like critical CPU utilization in EC2. Okay, so I will say we have an unusual high CPU utilization. Okay, so basically you get this as the message. Earlier in SNS topic I have given, right, what is the message to be sent in the email, what is the subject line. So now I am giving the same details in my CloudWatch after integrating SNS. So next, okay, now whatever the details I just want to validate for 1 minute greater than 10%. So I am using alarm, the notification system, using my SNS. Okay, and this is a message and subject which will get in the email. So let me create this alarm. Okay, so action enabled. Let me refresh this. Okay, whenever CPU utilization goes beyond 10, it will alert us. Let us watch the CPU utilization. So right now the CPU utilization, okay, this red mark is nothing but the 10, our threshold. So it's at 10 now. Let me refresh, because like every 5 minutes we need to, sorry, every 1 minute we need to check here. And again, all this default metric sent to EC2 at the interval of 5 minutes. Okay, that's where like usually we select 5 minutes in free tier. Okay, so we might need to wait for some time. Okay, to get that email triggered. Okay, our CPU utilization is 9.96. Okay, maybe I need to load my server to some extent. So what I am going to do, jobs. Okay, duplicate tab. Sudo -i jobs top. So currently like my CPU utilized is like 14%, 10%, is that's varying. But our intention is to keep the CPU at 10, more than 10% for a minute time. Okay, I think our job started. Looks like the CPU is 20%. It's getting varied. Let's see the cloud metrics here. Okay, if you are a paid account, you can customize your monitoring. For example, I will show you like how this monitoring works. Okay, you see like manage detailed monitoring, right? If you have paid pay as you go user, you can enable this so that it sends the logs every 1 minute interval. Right now it sends the log at every 5 minute interval. So we don't get the notification immediately in free tier account. Okay, so we might have to wait for some time to see those emails and alerts. Okay, it's steadily going on. Like I think we have like very old status here. It shows just 9%, but actual utilization is 4 now. Oh, sorry. I add some script to do that. Let me stress the server now. So I'm going to stress the server with this particular command so that my CPU will bounce to 90%. Okay. So let me do that. So basically it runs like few jobs in the backend. 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs in the backend, which is going to run continuously so that my CPU will be like goes to 100 percentage. Okay, so we have to wait for some time to get that. Even you can check it here. See, now it states as okay, it should say like alarm on. So now our status is okay, right? Means that it does not even recognize like our CPU is like very utilized, because we didn't get the current real-time data to CloudWatch, because we are in free tier. So it will take like around 5 minutes to send the data. So in case in your real time, if you are not getting the data immediately, you have to see that okay, whether you are running like real time manage detailed monitoring option. If you are not using that, you will get delayed information. So just want to show the behavior and the utilization, I just kept it in this way. Still we did not get the latest utilization report. Okay, maybe I will pause this recording for a minute. Once I get the latest report, I will show you how you get an alarm. Okay guys, yeah, if you see now, earlier like we had OK status for alarm. So now my alarm status changed to in alarm condition. Okay, so if it is in alarm, it has to send the notification to my SNS. My SNS should send an email to my mailbox. Let me check if I received any email. So if you look at, so this is a email which we received for our subscription confirmation. This is a testing email which we did. So here is the email which we received from EC2 alarm. So means that it says you are receiving this email because from Amazon CloudWatch this blah blah blah, where the threshold you set is like greater than 10. Okay, and it says like what is the name of alarm and what is the utilization. So and the period it waited for like 60 seconds and everything. Okay, so this is how you configure your SNS, okay, to send a notification in the email. Okay, so with this, what we did today, okay, as a recap, let me say, right? So we have did two things now. One is like we have seen a basic how to create an alarm in an EC2, basically in a CloudWatch. Okay, and we have seen how to create an SNS topic. Okay, basically in CloudWatch, the metrics from any AWS instances or any AWS services, especially EC2, a default metrics will be sent to CloudWatch as a default behavior. Okay, in what duration the default metrics will send? So the metrics are transferred to CloudWatch every 5 minutes interval. Okay, if you want to enable a detailed monitoring, if you want to get a details at every 1 minute level, you need to enable detailed monitoring, which is again going to be a cost implication. Okay, it will send the details for every 1 minute. Okay, so even though I configured here to validate for every 1 minute, I get the input from my CloudWatch, sorry, my EC2 at every 5 minutes only, because I am using a free tier account. Okay, so usually see now it's again went to checking state, means that now it will check, wait for data to come in, new data to come in. So based on the new data, it will decide okay whether it's another alarm or it's okay status. Okay, for example, if I kill this process, jobs, right, ps-ef, so where is the bash? So now I have killed all the jobs which I have triggered in the backend. So in the next 5 minutes, it should come in OK status, because my CPU utilization will go down. So it has to come to OK status. Okay. So what we did, we configured a CloudWatch alarm and we send this alarm to an SNS topic. In case of an real alarm, SNS will send an email to us. So again, for SNS to be configured, you need to create a topic, you have to subscribe and you have to validate. And there is an option in SNS to test using the publish message. So in CloudWatch, what we seen, how to configure an alarm. Okay, and you can check the status of the alarm here. In case of if it's in alarm state. Now there is no alarm to display, so you are not having here. Okay. Then there is something like you can create logs and you can see everything by creating a log group and everything. These details we will see in our upcoming sessions. Okay, I will tell you like how to configure the detail logging, how to change the your metric configuration file and everything, so that you can get details of it. Probably I will show those theoretically because it's all like charging. Because most of the things which I am showing here is almost a free tier eligible. There are few things which again cost me. That's fine. Okay, if you go to my billing, like you will see there are few things which is costing me, but I am okay to do that. Okay, because actually I want to show you a real-time use case. While doing a real-time use case, there are one of the other service which will be charging where for data transfers or other things. For example, SNS topic, it is charged based on the number of messages you publish and test. So now I have did a test publish message and I have triggered an actual publish from my CloudWatch. So those are charged to me. That's fine. But for you guys to understand the real-time use case, that's where I want to show you with the EC2. Okay. Hope you enjoy this video. If you feel this is like really interesting and if you have learned even a single thing today, I would recommend you to subscribe and share with your friends. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys.